Om Shanti. This is the Avyakt Murli of 24th of March, 1985. And the title is, If Not Now, Then Never. Today, loveful and lawful Bapdada is seeing the accounts of all the children to see how much each of you has accumulated in your account. To become a Brahmin means to accumulate, because according to how much you have accumulated in this one birth, you will continue to receive the reward for 21 births. Not only will you receive the reward for 21 births, but according to how worthy of worship you become, that is, according to how worthy of a royal status you become, to that extent, you will be worshipped for half the cycle on the path of devotion as a right of your fortune of the kingdom. The royal status is elevated, and so the worthy of worship form is also just as elevated. The number of subjects, too, is created accordingly. People love their world emperor or king who has the right to the kingdom in the form of the mother and father. Similarly, devotee souls consider the elevated souls and the great souls who have a right to the kingdom to be their lovely, beloved deities and worship them. Those who become part of the eight also become just as great, specially beloved deities. The royal status and the worthy of worship status are attained in this Brahmin life according to this calculation. For half the cycle, you become those with the royal status, and for half the cycle, you attain a worthy of worship status. So this birth, life, and age are for accumulating in the account of accumulation for the whole cycle. This is why you have a slogan. Do you remember it? If not now, then never. This has been remembered of this time and this life. This slogan is for Brahmins, and it is also to awaken souls without knowledge. If, while performing every elevated action and having elevated thoughts, you Brahmin souls always remember, if not now, then never, what would happen? You would always become intense in every elevated task and move forward. As well as that, this slogan also gives you zeal and enthusiasm. You automatically have spiritual awakening. Thoughts of ordinary effort, such as, okay, I will do it at some time. I have to do it anyway. I have to move along in that way. I have to become that anyway, would automatically end because you would have become aware of, if not now, then never. Do whatever you want to do now. This is called being an intense effort maker. Sometimes, when the moment changes, even the auspicious thought changes. The enthusiasm with which you might have thought of performing an auspicious task also changes. Therefore, what was the specialty you saw in Father Brahma becoming number one? Not at some time, but I have to do it now. It is said, an instant donation is the greatest charity. If you don't donate instantly, if you think about it and take time, if you make plans and then put into practice, that would not be called an instant donation. it would simply be called a donation. There is a difference between an instant donation and a donation. An instant donation is a great donation. The fruit of a great donation is great. While you are still thinking about putting a thought into practice, okay, I should do this. I will do it. Not now, but I will do it after some time. I will do this much for now. The time gap that there is between thinking those thoughts and actually putting them into practice gives Maya a chance. Bap Dada looks at the accounts of the children and sees that Maya comes many times in the tiny gap of few children thinking about something and doing it in practice. And so that situation changes. For instance, sometimes you think that you will do something with your body and mind. However, initially you thought of it 100%, but by the time doing it, it changed. When there is a time gap, because of the influence of Maya, someone who had thought of giving 8 hours only gives 6 hours. It would have been reduced by 2 hours. Circumstances will become such. In the same way, with money too, you would think that you want to give 100, but then only give 50, and so that difference is there. Because in between Maya has a margin, then you have many thoughts, such as, okay, I will give 50 now and 50 later. It belongs to the Father anyway. However, whatever is an instant donation of body, mind, and wealth is considered to be great charity. You have seen that when they offer a sacrifice, the Mahaprasad is only that which is instant. The animal that is sacrificed instantly with one stroke is considered to be Mahaprasad. One who cries out and still thinks about being sacrificed would not be considered Mahaprasad. When they offer a goat as a sacrifice, that goat cries out a lot. What do you do here? You think, should I do this or not? This is thinking about it. Anyone who cries out is never accepted as the Mahaprasad. Similarly, here too, an instant donation is great charity. It is the praise of this time. That is, your thinking and doing should be instantaneous. You should not be left still thinking about it. Sometimes, some share such experiences. I also thought about it, but that one did it instead. I didn't do it. So, those who actually do it receive the reward. Those who keep on thinking about it reach the silver age while still thinking. They just remain thinking all the time. The waste thought is that which tells you, don't do it instantly. There is praise for an auspicious task and an auspicious thought. Instant donation is great charity. Sometimes some children show great games. They have waste thoughts with so much force that they are unable to control them. Then they say, what can I do? It just happened. They are unable to stop them. They then do whatever thoughts they had. However, you need controlling power for waste thoughts. You receive multi-million-fold fruit of one powerful thought. In the same way, the account of one wasteful thought to be said to be disheartened, to lose your happiness, not understanding who you are, not being able to understand yourself is also experienced in the same way as the multi-fold return of one. Then you think, well, it was nothing really, but I don't know why my happiness disappeared. It wasn't a big situation, but it has now been many days since my happiness decreased. I don't know why I enjoy being in isolation. I should go away somewhere. However, where would you go? You're not going to go away anywhere alone, that is, without the Father's company, are you? You may remain alone, but don't remain alone and separated from the Father's company. If you become alone away from the Father's company, if you become separated in yoga, if you become upset, that is a different set. That is not Brahmin life. You are combined, are you not? The confluence age is the age to remain combined. Such a wonderful couple cannot be found throughout the whole cycle. Even if you were to become Lakshmi and Narayan, that would not be like this wonderful couple, would it? This is why you cannot become separated for even a second from the combined form of the confluence age. As soon as you become separated, you lose. You have experienced this, have you not? What do you do then? You sometimes go to the seaside, sometimes on the roof, sometimes to the mountains. To go there to churn is a different matter. However, don't go there alone without the Father. Wherever you go, go with Him. This is the promise of Brahman life. You made this promise when you took birth, did you not? You will remain with Him and go back home with Him. Don't just go to the forest or the sea like that. No, you have to remain with Him and go back with Him. This is the firm promise of everyone, is it not? Those who have determination always attain success. Determination is the key to success. Therefore, you have made this promise firm, have you not? Where there is constant determination, there is constant success. If determination is lacking, then success too is less. What was the specialty you saw in Father Brahma? You saw that he gave an instant donation. Did he ever think about what would happen? It was never, let me think about it first, and then I will do it. No, because of being greatly charitable with his instant donation, he became the number one great soul. Therefore, because of becoming the number one great soul, he is worshipped as the number one soul in the form of Krishna. This is the only great soul who is also worshipped in his childhood form. You have seen his childhood form, have you not? He is also worshipped in his adolescent form with Radhe Krishna. He is also remembered and worshipped with the gopis and gopis. Fourth, in the form of Lakshmi and Narayan. This is the only great soul who is remembered and worshipped in the different ages of his life, and his many forms of activity are also remembered. There is praise of Radhe too, but they never rock her in a cradle like they rock Krishna. They love Krishna. Because of being with Krishna, Radha's name is definitely mentioned. Nevertheless, there is a difference in being the second number and the first number. So, what was the reason for becoming number one? Great charity. The greatly charitable soul then became the greatly worthy of worship soul. You were also told earlier that there is a difference in the way that all of you are worshipped. Some deities are worshipped in the right way, and others are worshipped just for the sake of it. There is a lot of detail of this. There is a lot of detail of worship too. However, today, Baba is looking at everyone's account of accumulation. To what extent have you accumulated the treasure of knowledge, the treasure of powers, the treasure of elevated thoughts, and the treasure of time? To what extent have you accumulated all of these four treasures? Baba was seeing these accounts. So, now check your account of all these four things. Then, Bab Dada will also tell you what result he saw. He will tell you what the method is to accumulate in each account, what its relationship with attainment is, and how to accumulate. Baba will tell you about these things later. Do you understand? Time is limited, is it not? He also comes into the limited. It is not his own body he enters. It is a body that he has taken on loan. And it is a body that is playing a temporary part. This is why Baba also has to consider the time. Bab Dada also enjoys meeting each child and taking the sweetest spiritual fragrance from each child. Bab Dada knows all three aspects of time of each child, whereas children just know their present to a greater extent, and they are therefore sometimes like this and sometimes like that. However, because of knowing all three aspects of time, Bab Dada sees you with the vision of your being the same one from the previous cycle who has a right, that you are rightful. There are some in a little bit of upheaval at present. However, those who are fluctuating have to become unshakable now. He sees your future as elevated. This is why, even though seeing the present, he doesn't see it. So, he sees the specialty of every child. Is there anyone who doesn't have a specialty? The first specialty is that you have reached here. You may not have anything else, but this fortune of personally meeting is no less. You have this specialty, do you not? This is a gathering of special souls. Therefore, Bab Dada is pleased on seeing the specialty of special souls. Acha, to those who always have the elevated thoughts of donating instantly, which is great charity, to those who always transform at some time, Gap into now, up, to those who always know the blessing of time and fill their apron with blessings, to those who follow Father Brahma and who become those who have a right to the elevated kingdom and a right to the elevated status with Father Brahma, to those who always remain combined with the Father, to such constant companion children, to the children who always fulfill the responsibility of companionship, Bab Dada's love, remembrance, and namaste. To the Dadis, the original jewels are always instrument, for son shows father. You are the divine mirrors who reveal the divine activities of the Father through your every action. A mirror is very essential to give a glimpse of yourself and of others. So, all of you are mirrors to give a vision of the Father. What does everyone remember on seeing the special instrument souls? You remember Bap Dada, do you not? What did the Father used to do? How did he walk? You remember that? Do you not? So, you are the mirrors who reveal the Father. Bap Dada always makes such special children move forward ahead of himself. He makes you the crown of his head. You are the sparkling jewels in the crown on the head. Acha, blessing, may you renounce the arrogance of carelessness and pay attention and become worthy of receiving help from the Father, thereby becoming an easy effort maker. Some children, instead of maintaining courage, become arrogant through carelessness, thinking that they are always worthy. If the Father doesn't help me, then whom would he help? Because of this arrogance, they forget the method of courage. Some even have the arrogance of paying attention to themselves, and this deprives them of receiving help. They think that they have had a lot of yoga, that they have become Jnani souls, that their kingdom has already been created through service. Let go of this type of arrogance and, on the basis of courage, become worthy of receiving help, and you will become an easy effort maker. Slogan: transform any wasteful and negative thoughts you have and use them for world benefit. Om Shanti.